and do what God's called him to do. All right? Because there's desert times. There's times for preparation. All right? So where does this leave us? I want you to remember your friends in ministry. Do you have friends in ministry? Can you point to one right now? Okay, thank you. Thank you. All three of you. No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. I know you are, or know that I'm a friend in ministry. And I appreciate your friendship. Okay? I want you to call out their names when you pray. And I want you to pray for them often. Okay? And I want you to call them and let them know you're thinking about them. When my name crosses your mind, just say, you know, I got to call that rascal. See how he's doing. You never know. Maybe that phone call will come right at a low time and it will help pick him up. And I call my mentors frequently. I call ministry partners frequently. Matter of fact, we're getting ready to have a Zoom meeting here for our evangelists here in the state. And discuss some weighty matters. And you pray for me that I don't get too contentious in that. Because I've got my mind made up. And now my heart's open to what the Lord's got, but my mind's made up on the line in the sand. Okay? But I'll tell you what, another third thing here about remembering your friends in ministry, this will refresh them to hear your voice. But it will also refresh you to hear their voice. Maybe they've got a great story they need to tell you that happened to them. Maybe they've led somebody to the Lord just dying to tell somebody, and yet phone rings, man, dude, you're the first person I got to tell that to. You know, you just never know. I was thinking of my friend Darrell, who was up in Ocean City last week. I was thinking to him, I said, you know, I need to email him, see how he's doing. And pulled up my email, and there's one from him. He said, today's the last day that we're in Ocean City. Just want to let you know that I have talked to over 300 people this week. Says, and have made, handed out tracts, and he's got basically he's got a thing on a wheel. And he holds that up and he talks to them about the gospel. He said, I've had dozens of gospel wheel conversations and stuff. He said, I've given out tracts. He said, I've talked to people. He said, a lot of young people, he said, are asking questions. He said, and we need to be ready with that answer for them, for the hope that is within us. I said, amen, brother, amen. And I told him I was just emailed him back. I said, I was just thinking about you, and then I get this wonderful email from you. I said, hallelujah. Number 2, I want you to support your friends in ministry. I want you to support them firstly by your prayers. You support them prayerfully. But secondly, they need to be supported financially. If you see a need, help out with it. But lastly, and most importantly, I believe, you need to support them with your presence. You need to go see them. You need to be in fellowship with them. All right? 3, I want you to remember that we are all in this thing together. Now, some are called to vocational ministry. I was called to vocational ministry. I'm bivocational right now, and that's good. I think every pastor ought to give it a try to see how, I don't know that I can really say that it's difficult, but to see how challenging it is to try to balance vocational ministry with a job. But you can't really juggle with just 2 things, so we got to put the home life in there too, and we got to keep it going all the time. Right? But there's others that are called to assist others in ministry. We just need to know what position we're going to hold in this equation. Okay? In either case, guess what? We're all ministers. You might not have a title, pastor, reverend, whatever you decide to put on. You might not have that title, but we're all in ministry together, and you're all ministers of this gospel endeavor. Remember that little thing over in Matthew 28 called the Great Commission? That's not just for preachers. That's just not for deacons. That's for everybody. Amen. If you're drawing a breath, it's for you. Okay? Lastly here, we model what we see in ministry. Staying in contact with my mentors since I left Enon Chapel. Stayed in contact with them since I left Upward Basketball at the Baptist Center. I stay in contact with my mentors because it's important for me to keep on learning from them. I took from my mentors what I saw them doing. I saw how they greeted people. I saw how they talked to them. And I tried to model that in my life. Okay? I modeled their lives into mine. In this way, I learned to minister by putting into practice what I saw my mentors doing. Good story. I was working at the Baptist Center, and we're doing practice. And I saw Sandy Bain come walking through the gym. And I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "Well, I was going to ask you the same thing. What are you doing?" I said, "Well, we're getting ready to wrap up this practice right here." I said, "Got the next group waiting in the wings, and they're getting ready to take off." He said, "Well, let these coaches know." So I let them know, I'm going to be out of the building for a few minutes. I got to help Sandy do something. So we went over to Food Lion at College Park and bought probably $35 or $40 worth of groceries. And he said, "Good." He said, "I'm going to drive the truck." He says, you can do the toting." I said, "Yes, sir." So we got over to the place, and he got one little bag, and I got the three bags in this hand and 2 bags in that hand, and we go walking up to the door, and he rings the doorbell, and he said, "Got the message," he said, after 6, he said, when I came back in here, he said, "Got my friend Joe here, he came to help me." He said, "Got your message, you were needing food." He said, "So we wanted to bring this over to you." "Well, come on in." We set it on the table, and she just, all out of sorts. She had 2 of her grandkids that were dropped off to her, and the mom took off. So she said, "I wasn't expecting this," and she said, "I just don't have food enough to feed everybody." He said, "Well, we took that into consideration. We kind of bought kid stuff." She said, "Outstanding." We prayed for her and we left. I said, "Thanks for including me in on that." He says, "Everybody needs to experience what ministry is all about and practically apply it. Everybody needs to do that." And I never forgot that. So when I hear of somebody needing having surgery, just for example, having surgery, we try to take them some food. Last thing they need to try to be up, recuperate from surgery, is be up trying to cook. So if they got something ready to eat, it would be fantastic for them. So we try to help. Okay? So I want to ask you, do you have a mentor? Anybody got a mentor? Raise your hand. You don't have mentors. Well, why not? They've got a wealth of knowledge to teach. Might say, "Well, I'm too old to have a mentor." No, you're not. Do this. If you can still feel a pulse, you're not too old. Okay? And you're not too dead. You're still alive, you could use a mentor. So I'm going to encourage you to find a mentor somewhere and then work with them. Call them once a week and say, "Hey, what we got going on? What can I help with? What's on tap?" Okay? Main thing that can help teach you how to share the gospel. Now, I'm not going to give an invitation this week, but we'll give you my name, Pastor Joe Twigg. My phone number is 910-467-5014. My email address is jtwigg with 2 G's 1963 at embarkmail.com. That's EMBARQMAIL.com. If you're getting this, you're seeing this message, and you want to learn more about what it takes to be a believer in Jesus Christ, please email me, call me. I would love to walk you through that. I want to be a good steward of the time, so we're going to ask Mrs. Nam to come up here and lead us on the piano with our closing hymn. Hymn number 384. I love y'all, and I want to do right by you. Okay? Will we stand? And as we sing.